Good morning everyone, welcome to a new small market update in which we are going to discuss whatever the market is doing, and right now the market is doing absolutely nothing. As Bitcoin is just consolidating while good news is coming out to the markets, so we are going to discuss that in our topic today. Should you buy the Bitcoin dip or should you wait for the Bitcoin breakout? Then, before we continue, do not forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel beneath and also like this YouTube video if you enjoy the content, and comment if you want to see some special content out there. So, let's get to the charts, in which we can see that Bitcoin is stuck inside a range. And if we look at this chart, we can see that there's some confusion, and the markets in general are quite confusing for people, as in there are bulls, there are bears, and people are expecting a prolonged bear market, and people are expecting a bull cycle to continue in the forms of a super cycle, or 2013 or 2014, that entire cycle to repeat itself. I'm in the latter group. I'm expecting that this crash that we just witnessed is granting you a massive opportunity to do so. And to get back to the title of this video is people are have constantly been messaging me around 60k to buy whatever crypto they could because they felt FOMO. Right now, life is relaxed again. Things are calming down. People are not interested in crypto, and the only messages I get is people that are wanting to sell their Bitcoin and not even interested in crypto. And that's the investor's mindset that you should be having. When people are not interested in a certain asset, you should be getting interested in it. And Raoul Paul also said it one day. Also, the same applies to stock markets. At one point, the stock markets will crash down. And then the overall hype regarding stocks, real estate, etc., that's going to fall apart. But if you want to make a step and you want to start moving forward, you have to look at where people don't want to look, which is their losses, but also just topics where there are some opportunities. And one of them is just crypto right now. We've seen some altcoins doing some really well moves in the past few 24 hours, some random pumps as well. So it looks like we're going to wake up. But what is Bitcoin showing us at this stage? We can see lower highs, higher lows, meaning that this entire pennant construction that people are eagerly waiting for right now, right, that is going to have a breaker very soon. I'm not focused too much on the pennant structure. I'm more interested in how the actual developments of the structure are at this stage. And you can see that we are just holding critical levels in general. But right now we are also rejecting critical levels, meaning that there is a breakout going to happen in the next maximum 5 days. So this week is going to bring us an idea of where the market is going to head. So if we break the critical level, which is this area around 37.6, I'm going to assume that we're going to test the 41k again, and then we are building up pressure to the upside, and then we most likely are going to make a breaker towards 46 to 49, as there is still the open CME gap. So the critical breaker for me is this block around 37.5. On the downside, what is the area that we should be holding? Well, we do know that these higher lows are constructed right here. We dipped into support, that's this entire region. We bounced back up, and now we're consolidating in between. So I want to see Bitcoin hold above 34.5. If that is not going to happen, then very likely we're going to make another breaker to the downside, test this area around 29 to 32, and then we are granting ourselves a massive daily bullish divergence, which is usually an indicator of a bottoming construction. And then you're going to copy paste any of these structures. So if we continue to grind to the upside, I'll just zoom in a little bit, then we probably get the March 2020 scenario. But if we do want to get something like this with a bullish divergence, it doesn't seem unlikely that we're going to fall apart and have another test between 29 to 32 to grant such a bullish divergence. But overall, especially if we go back to March 2020, we can see that we've also had such a bullish divergence applied here. Since then, the price started to grind upwards and just become quite boring. And we can see the exact same happening here with Bitcoin at this stage. The heavy volatility happens, so then the market has to accumulate before a new impulse wave can start. And given that we are gapping in between those two, lower highs and higher lows. The actual break is going to happen quite soon. Now, coming back to the strategy, what should you do? Well, if you are still not in the markets and you have been waiting since 60k, I think this is the market that you want to get into at 35, where everybody is currently in a funeral state. Should you be waiting for that lower test? Well, you can be waiting for it for a trader's perspective, as then you're just going to open a trade to generate more profits. But if you're an investor or you want to become an investor, the best strategy to do so is just dollar cost average. And you should be thinking about, what is my time preference? What is my time horizon? What is the potential downside and what's the potential upside in all those scenarios? So for instance, if you decide to go, you want to buy 36k, you don't keep liquidity for your investment portfolio in case it goes to 30, but you make the assumption that the downwards momentum could be like 30% from here. What is the potential upside? Well, the potential upside for Bitcoin is maybe even a 10x in the next cycle. Who knows? So trying to wait for a even lower level to hit at 29 to 32, only to be the exact bottom buyer, is a very complex thing to do. And the only way you could be doing that if you are a trader or a day trader in general. So if you're looking for an investment, then Bitcoin is massively giving you opportunities here. And altcoins in general are giving you massive opportunities here. And we have seen some altcoins waking up nicely in the past few days, in which some of them, like Sealer, like Doc, like Harmony, are eager to have their continuation. And we can see that Doc, in case of patience, it just made a very beautiful retest of an area we didn't expect it to be hitting. But given the crash of Bitcoin, we did see that this entire region here got a retest around 105 sats. And now we bounced back up. And when we look at this entire structure, it is just ready for a big breakout to happen, because it has been accumulating inside those ranges, and there is significant demand for this asset. What are the levels to watch? Obviously, we can play the support resistance flip around 211 sats, but the critical area that it should be holding, and I'm definitely eager to find one entry there, is between 165 to 180 sats. So I'm looking for those constructions, and we can see that the bull cycle is not over. But right now the social media sentiment is making you think that it's actually over, because extreme clickbait and extreme news will give you the spotlight, which means that the state is a funeral right now. Sentiment can flip-flop quite fast, but during a funeral sentiment, you will see negative news getting the spotlight, while positive news is not getting any attention at all. So is it a good moment to start buying into Bitcoin for an investment purpose? Yes. If you want to look for trades, might want to look for a little bit lower, but this entire region is definitely where you want to be seeking it, because I'm quite sure Bitcoin is going to break upwards relatively fast. So do not forget to subscribe, and I'll see you again tonight in the live stream at 19:30 Central European Time. Bye bye.